Pro Wrestling Junkies, and welcome to Getting to Know a Junkie. Today's junkie hails from Clearwater, Florida, and his name is Greg Strokotter. Greg, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing well, Brad. How are you this morning?
I am doing fine. Have you been up for a while? Did you get up early on Sundays?
Not usually. My wife does. So my wife has to be to work at 5 in the morning.
Okay.
So she gets up like around 3:30. The cats decided, hey, mom's up. You're gonna get up too. So yeah, I've been up since like 4:30 this morning.
Oh my God! Did you get any time to recoup that sleep during the day?
Oh yeah. Like I've got to do this and like vacuum and like I don't have to work today, so it's just kind of chill and clean the house at my own pace.
Can you fall asleep and just watch football on the couch?
There may be some napping around 2 or 3 o'clock.
Yeah, totally. That's when it starts getting to me as well. So, you're in Clearwater, Florida. What's the temperature like? In the winter?
It's really chilly right now. I say that.
Be careful.
It's chilly for us now. A normal day here in Clearwater is going to be about 85 degrees and sunny with about 85% humidity.
Really?
That is like 300 days out of the year.
So do you go to the beach a lot?
About once a month, really. I mean,
okay.
It's there. I work at the beach.
Okay.
I work, and I wait tables, and the restaurant has waterfront views. So
that's nice.
I'm at the beach every day. But like right now it's 60 degrees and sunny, so it's chilly. Like I've got pants and socks on.
Oh wow. And that's abnormal for right now.
For right now it's normal because this is like our winter. So
okay.
It's gonna get like this, but then it's gonna warm up again for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Like on Christmas Day, I'm usually in t-shirt and jeans, no jacket. And then end of January, beginning of February, we get another cold snap where it'll get down into the 40s for like a week,
really?
And everyone will lose their mind, myself included.
Yeah, totally. Is it like one of these things where you forget that you had it a year ago as well, and
you're like, I'm like, I have to dig through the closet to get your beanie out and your gloves, and you're like, oh my God, where is this stuff? You only need it for a little bit, but when you need it, you need it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to ask a dumb question.
Yeah.
So, when at this time of the year, it's cold here, and I live in Champaign. It's about 2 hours south of Chicago.
Okay.
And we go to Florida or somewhere warm.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you go? Do you go on vacation to another warm place?
So that's starting to sound like my wife. We need to go somewhere.
Totally.
So the last time we went on vacation, I'm from Indiana. We went back to Indiana. We had a big family reunion about 2 years ago, and it was in the summertime, and it was nice. But yeah, she's getting the bug, and she's like, "Where do you want to go?" I'm like, "Babe, we live where people vacation. Like, I don't want to go anywhere. I'm like, that's why I live here."
Do you ever go skiing? Do you know how to ski?
I do. I used to ski up in Michigan when I was a kid, and yeah, I mean, I know how to ski. I wouldn't be against it. It's the everyday driving in the snow and the ice and the gray skies that we're like, we can't deal with that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you're in such an ideal spot, like where everyone comes
your
to
background,
vacation.
Your background is like, it's like my daily view.
Oh my! Do you recognize any of the people behind me?
No. But,
so you don't know everybody in Clearwater?
No, I do know a lot. I've been here for like 5 years though, and I'm starting to like know people. Like I'm at the grocery store, like, hey, Greg, hey, what's up?
I haven't gotten that yet because when I moved down here, the stay-at-home order went on, so I haven't met a single person. So how did you end up in Florida? Did you grow up in Indiana?
So yeah, I grew up in Indiana. And then let's see here. And then I joined the Army when I was 20 years old. Mm-hmm. And I did that until I was 27. So I was in for 7 years. Wow. And then I got out and I was going to school, living with my folks. Mm-hmm. And they're like, hey, you're going to school, you're living with us for free. Maybe you should get a job. And I'm like, all right, cool.
One option.
So I get a job at a little seafood restaurant, washing dishes.
Okay.
And the gal who hired me is now my wife. She was the restaurant GM.
So since you got hired, have you dated anybody else?
No. Well, I tried. I tried.
What, like last year?
No, we've been married for 7 years. Um, no, no. We were good friends for like 2.5 years, and finally, I'm like, why am I doing all this stupid stuff, chasing these girls around at bars where there's like my best friend who I should marry is like right in front of me.
And was she single?
She was,
Okay.
because when she met me, she knew instantly I was the one for her. So she stayed single and available for me while I was an idiot for a while, and then realized that she was the one.
Did she interview you?
She did. She did.
So
she hired me.
do you remember like the details of it? I mean, you don't have to tell me if you don't, but like,
No,
you remember?
no. I remember wearing I remember the shirt I was wearing. It was like a long sleeve green shirt. And then I remember like the next day I went in because I got hired, and I had a short sleeve shirt on, and I was hired for a server. And I've got a tattoo here on my forearm.
Okay.
It's a barcode.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
It's a barcode, and the owner was like, "Well, you can't wait tables because you've got a visible tattoo." And yeah, this is in Indiana in like 2007, where that was still like taboo.
Yeah.
Restaurant, like, he's got a visible tattoo.
You don't shave every day, like.
Yeah. So go on. So yeah, she hired me, and we fell in love, and she lived here in Clearwater before I met her in Indiana.
Was she originally from down in Florida?
She lived here for like 15 years.
Okay.
She's got a little bit of a gypsy past as well.
Okay.
Like she went to UNLV, and like she's from Michigan. She went to UNLV, graduated there, got a job down here, then moved back to Indiana, met me, and then we moved here.
Okay. Were you guys both? Did you guys move down to Florida for any specific, like for a job or school or anything?
No, I was waiting tables at Cracker Barrel, and she had previously lived in the area. She worked retail before. She can do anything she wants. She's held so many positions. She's familiar with this area. She's got a bachelor's degree, so she can do whatever she wants.
She's good.
And I'm like, I can wait tables wherever I want. We're like, let's go down to Florida, and we visited in like March, in like the spring.
Children at this point? Did you have children? Okay.
No children. Yeah.
Good old days.
Thanks to the VA.
Yeah. God, that's smart.
Yeah, no children.
Yeah.
But we visited for like 3 days, and then I was like, we need to live here. So like our lease ran out that summer in like July. We caught a Cubs game like the day before we came down. Because we'd never sat in the bleachers before. So
awesome.
we sat in the bleachers. I had a great time, and like the next day we drove down here to Florida.
Oh, how long is that drive? Is it a 1 day trip?
We made it 2 days. It can be done in 1 day if you're moving, but just go to Atlanta, stop for the day, then drive from Atlanta down here the next day.
So, what made you decide to join the Army?
So that was just something in our family we did. My father is a Marine. I've got uncles and grandparents and cousins. Like in our family, it's just a couple kids from every generation. They just joined the service.
Okay,
that's just what we do.
So, at what age did you know you were gonna, this?
I didn't know until like the recruiter actually knocked on my door.
Oh, okay.
It was kind of out of nowhere, but at the time, I was enrolled in college, but I wasn't really going.
Okay.
And I was, going, I had no direction in my life. And the recruiter was like, hey, you should do this, you could do all this with this job while you figure out your life, you can do all this fun stuff. And I'm like, yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Did you get paid?
Yeah, you get paid pretty well.
Really?
Well, I mean,
like, are you able to save it because you're not going out to? Okay.
Yes. See, here's where the pay is not great, but the benefits are great because you don't really have to pay for anything if you don't want to. So there's a chow hall where they'll feed you. Clothes are clothes. I mean, they give you work uniforms.
Yeah.
All your work stuff is all paid for. You don't have to pay rent. So
you're able to save some money.
Yeah, if you want to save some money, you can save some money. Or if you want to blow it all on booze and cars and women, you can do that too.
Does it get taxed? Like if you guys go out for a night?
Yeah, you just go out, you just load a couple $100 like it's
Easy,
nothing
I
because
bet.
it's not like you gotta worry about rent, you know.
Yeah, totally. Oh, that's great. So you were in the service for 7 years.
Yes, from 2000 to 2007, actually.
Okay, and were you always in the United States, or did you
No,
go?
I got to travel. I got to travel a lot. I got to travel a lot within the states. So I was in New York State like the summer before 9/11,
Oh
up
gosh.
there. So that was kind of weird. But I was stationed in Louisiana. I was stationed in Texas. I was stationed up in Washington State, and I had a car, so I drove like
Oh my gosh.
everywhere in between. Um, and then overseas, I got to go to Kuwait. I got to go to Iraq. I got to go to Qatar and Thailand.
Do you get okay? So say you're overseas. Do you
Yeah.
get like days off?
Yes and no. It just depends on your unit and your unit's mission and how many people there are. Like my unit, when I was in Iraq, I got every Sunday off because I was kind of a niche job and there were so many people around.
Okay.
Like, you work 6 days a week. But your 6 days a week are like 16, 17 hour days.
Okay.
They're long days. And
Jesus.
there's people shooting at you and trying to kill you.
Yeah. There's that too.
And there's that and the
But
heat.
enough about
And I mean,
that.
it's people ask me, they're like, "Oh, what was Iraq like?" And I'm like, you know what? It was the best, worst time of my life.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I love it. I wouldn't trade it for anything, but it was terrible.
Now, when you're in the service, are there ever days that are boring?
Yes, especially when it's not wartime
Uh-huh.
and you're like in the rear. Like when I was at Fort Polk in Louisiana, like a lot of the days we'd be like in the motor pool, like going through containers, like inventorying all of our gear,
Uh-huh.
making sure that when we went to the field, like all the tents were serviceable, and like a lot of it was inventory.
Oh,
It
okay.
was boring.
Was that more early on or as
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. That was like pre Iraq War.
Okay.
And once the war kicked off, then you started focusing more on real life training and, hey, this is what you're going to need over there, and I was a medic, so are your certifications up to date? And really focused on the mission because there was an actual mission, there was a war, there was something going on.
Yeah.
On the world stage, so you had to be prepared.
Were you scared?
Oh, yes and no. I mean, at first, yes, because oh yeah, you're a human growing up war.
They want to kill me?
Yeah, and then you cope with it, and then once you get over there, you just don't think about it. You don't think about dying, so you don't have time to be scared, because that's when you second guess yourself, and that's when you become timid, and that's when people die from hesitation. So actually, that's when I knew it was time for me to get out. When I realized I wasn't invincible anymore.
Yeah, totally.
Too many close calls. I gotta get out.
I'm not invincible, as it turns out.
Weird,
All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little wrestling.
Yes.
I'm trying to think if we should start in Indiana. When did you start watching wrestling?
Some of my earliest memories, like as a kid, watching wrestling, watching the Hulk Hogan cartoon on TV, and growing up, and Sunday morning on USA Network and late night TNT or NBC and CBS late night Friday, Saturday night shows. And Sunday morning recaps. We got to get back from church. We got to watch.
Yeah, totally. Recap. So did you discover it with someone? Did someone show you wrestling, or did you just stumble upon it?
I don't remember. I just remember it being a part of my childhood and growing up, and me and my brother watching it, and my folks taking us to wrestling shows, and like that's just what it was,
So in Indiana, where would be the venue that, say, a WWE or WWF would come to?
They would come. So I'm from Fort Wayne, which is the northeast corner. So it's like halfway between Chicago and Cleveland.
Okay.
So it's a city of like 200,000 people. So they have like the War Memorial Coliseum there, where they have an event, and they would come and they would put on the shows with, not just house shows, but like big time shows with like Hogan and Savage and Warrior and all those guys. They would show up. So that was it.
So once you moved, so in Florida now, I imagine, do you see a lot of wrestlers?
I've met a couple.
Just run into them?
Yes. Hogan, actually, I kind of ran into. Um, so I've got a buddy who I used to wait tables with, and now he works in a parking garage on Clearwater Beach.
Okay.
Hogan's got a memorabilia shop in that parking
Yeah.
in that complex. So he calls me one day. He goes, "Hey, do you want to meet Terry?" I'm like, "Terry? Terry who?" He goes, "Hogan. He's at the shop right now. You want to come down?" I said, "Yeah." So yeah, like I came down and like he was in there, and I'm just like, "Hey," and he's like, "Hey, brother." And
wow.
it's like totally like not kayfabe, just Terry being cool, like signing some stuff. And
so
I tried not to mark out.
Yeah. Would he be fine? Like if you said, "Hey, can I get a picture with you?" Or is he working?
I think had he not been working, had he just been at the shop just hanging out, I think he would have been cool with it. But at the time, I didn't want to press my luck.
Yeah.
Signing a lot of stuff. So
totally.
I didn't want to bug him, but at the same time, like I got to meet Hogan.
So did you see? Obviously not in a while, but in Florida, where do you see shows?
I mean, out here. Nowhere right now. There's a little town about 20 minutes north of us called Newport Richey. There's like a little independent wrestling scene. I've been to a couple shows up there.
Cool.
And then in Tampa and Ybor, once everything kicks back off, man, like when WrestleMania was going to be at Ray J, or technically it was at Ray J.
Yeah.
That like Wrestle Week was all in Ybor. Like everybody was coming. Like I was excited, like I was gonna go see a Joey Ryan's a Joey Ryan match.
Yeah.
It was like, and this is like before like it came out that he was like, perfect. Like I was gonna go see a whole bunch of like little shows, not necessarily go see WrestleMania and blow a $200 on that, but see all the little shows beforehand. I was excited to see that, but that's not happening. But the scene here, like for independent wrestling and like smaller shows, it's pretty happening.
So like they get a nice audience?
Like 40, 50.
Okay, yeah, it's fine. That's enough to fill the, ringside.
Yeah, and then they broadcast it live on the internet. I have no idea what kind of views they do or anything, but
So have you gone to a WrestleMania?
No, not yet. And I don't know if we're going to be allowed to go to this one because this one's going to be at the Trop.
Oh yeah.
Edge, which is St. Pete, which is like 20 minutes from me.
Oh wow. Okay, 20 minutes away. Say things are normal. There's no COVID or anything. And I had asked this on the page the other day. Would you rather have the like nosebleed seats for WrestleMania or like be at home on it with a nice TV?
No COVID, I want to go get the nosebleeds. You know, because it's the experience of being there.
Yeah,
and
the crowd going
everybody
nuts,
and the pop, and getting dressed up, and marking out, and and spreading the love and just having a good time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you have any? I'm sorry, my eyes bother me. Do you have like any hobbies? Collections?
A little bit, I'm getting older, so I'm finding new stuff to do. I'm painting. I painted some furniture recently. That was fun.
Cool.
I like to. I've got a ukulele. I tool around on my ukulele a little bit.
Oh, that's awesome.
Music's a huge part of my life. Actually, because growing up, I played an instrument. I played the trombone.
Oh, cool.
For like 7 years, like all throughout middle school and high school, and it kind of geeked me out into like music theory and how things work. And I'm a little older. Yeah, I like play a little ukulele and just like music theory, like really intrigues me.
That's cool that you have that outlet.
Yeah, I also have a podcast.
Oh, let's hear about it. I'm sorry.
Plug it. No. I
plug it. Tell me about it.
Yeah. So it's on YouTube. You can find me under Pineapple Lover 79 is the name of the channel. And we talk about wrestling. We talk a little about music and Florida living. Like I recap my week and like, hey, this is how the weather was, and this is what's going on.
Cool.
And this is what happened on AEW, and oh my God, Lance Archer's a monster. And
that's really cool.
And then I talk about like a song that I like that you may not know, or it's kind of been put on the back burner or somehow got an earworm in my brain. I'm like, hey, this is what we're going to talk about this week. And
Yeah.
it's like about each thing for a couple minutes. It's usually about 10 to 15-minute long podcast.
Oh, that's great. Did you, how long have you been doing it for?
I've been doing it for about a year now.
Oh, awesome. And do you handle like the editing and that kind of stuff?
I'm actually starting to partner up with a buddy who's going to start doing some editing, because before they're all just like one long shot.
Yeah,
and me just talking to the camera. So we're in the process of making some like more professional style videos.
Okay.
And then I'm doing more like on my mobile phone, just like a little 2-minute clip and like, hey, I'm doing this. Like this week I tried a persimmon for the first time. Have you ever had a persimmon before?
I don't even know if you're making up a word or not.
What is it? It's a Japanese fruit.
Oh, okay.
It's a Japanese fruit, and it's bright orange.
Uh-huh.
And it takes like a month and a half to ripen. Like it's the patience fruit. Like you have to let it sit out for like a month and a half. And then when you eat it, the flesh is like really sweet, and it's hard. It's a little indescribable.
Do they have these at like a regular grocery store?
I work at a farmer's market.
Okay.
They in the morning time. So they have them there. So I'm like, oh, let me try this. And like, I've got another thing. I've got a watermelon daikon I want to try. I've never tried a watermelon.
Oh my God. That first thing that I can't pronounce.
Yeah, the persimmon.
What made you decide to?
It just looked weird, and I'd never heard of it before. And I'm like, you know what? We sell it, and it's $1. I said,
Totally.
I said, you know what? It's $1. Let me try this out. If it sucks, I'm out $1.
$1. I'll work another 3 minutes and make that $1 back.
Exactly.
Would you eat one again?
Yes. Actually, I've got one on my counter because you'll see in the video. I didn't let it ripen all the way, so like only 5% of the fruit was edible, and the rest was inedible because so I want to get more than one bite next time. So I'm gonna let this one let
it age.
Yeah.
So your podcast, is it a satisfying creative outlet?
It is. And it got to be a little bit of a burden there for a little bit because like, oh my God, I got to come up with this and this. Yeah. So I took a little bit of a break, and that's why I think we're going to retool it a little bit. I think it's going to be less frequent, but higher quality content in the future.
Okay. I like I'm a proponent of like seasons, like, and then you take a break and kind of retool. And how often are you posting new content?
I was doing every week for a while there, like every week, and then it slowed down to like every other week, and now I'm just kind of like on a when we get the editing process back up, that's when we're gonna get the long form videos back. Until then, it's just gonna be quick updates and here's how pineapple's doing.
It's good. Like if someone just watches a couple minutes, that's great. And I like it in that, for me personally, I like hearing about especially what it's like weather-wise at any point you're in other places. I don't know why that's appealing to me, but it is. So I would definitely tune in. I want to talk about your wife.
Yes.
Does she watch wrestling?
She has started watching wrestling with me for probably the past 6 months. She's come around.
Does she feel like she's better than wrestling? Do you know what I mean?
No, I do know what you mean, and no, she doesn't. She knows it's silly, but she knows I enjoy it, and therefore she'll put up with it, and she'll watch it with me because I enjoy it. She sees the joy it brings me.
That's great. You're lucky. Would she go to a show with you?
She with all the COVID, that would be her excuse not to go.
Yeah, but say like next September.
I don't think she would. I haven't asked, but I don't think she would.
Might even be a waste of money, when you could, it saves you a couple $100 that you could, or $100.
Exactly. I'm like, that's like a replica belt.
Yeah, totally. Okay, I want to know something. I want to know who's your favorite current wrestler. I want to know your favorite all-time wrestler, and it can be several.
Okay, so it's one. It's one and the same. He is Le Champion, Chris Jericho, Y2J, Jericho Hog. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I love Chris Jericho.
he is awesome, and
And
it's entertaining.
he is. He's amazing. He's been entertaining for 30 plus years.
Yeah.
Always reinventing himself. I actually want to plug the shirt that I'm wearing.
Okay.
It's from The Big Hug.
Okay.
And that was a thing. It was in January of 2018 where everybody got together and tried to set the world record for the biggest hug.
Okay.
And it was like a worldwide thing. And like he put his two thing in, like Fozzy showed up and like in the Tropicana parking lot at the truck. Like it was him, and they had like live music and they had vendors and everything, and then we all got to a big hug. And I got my picture taken with him.
Oh, cool. Like, and were there tons of people trying to get a picture taken?
Oh, yeah, there was like a line of people getting the picture. And he was happy to take pictures with everybody. And only time I've ever been starstruck, I was like, it was like my wife had to speak for me.
Like I was going to say, when you were in line, how long were you in line for?
Maybe 10, 15 minutes.
Were you, while you're in line, you're like, all right, what am I going to ask him?
I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get my picture taken with Chris Jericho. Oh my God, this is so cool. I'm like, I'm like telling my wife stories, about Stinko Malenko and the list, the man of 1,004 holds. And she's like, oh my God. At this point, she's like, oh my God, what is this guy's fascination with Chris Jericho? Because she didn't get it. Now she gets it.
Okay.
But yeah, the only time I've ever been starstruck. Like I've met celebrities, I've met high-ranking officials, I met 4-star generals when I was in the Army.
Yeah.
Nothing. Jericho, lose my mind.
That's really funny. Gosh. That's funny that you learned that about yourself. There's this one person.
Yeah, and it's funny because my wife's like, why? Like, I'm like, I've been, I'm like watching a game on TV for 30 plus years. I'm like, I'm like, I used to put my buddies, in the walls of Jericho when we were messing around and stuff like that. Like I was always Chris Jericho, and I'm like, it's just that's like,
great
like
that
an
it's
icon,
all time and current. I know. Yeah. When you say, like, when I hear you say 30 years, it's like, wow, he really has been all around that long.
Yeah.
And like you said, always reinventing himself, and each incarnation is different and fun and entertaining. All right, best show you've ever been to?
Best show I've ever been to. It was pick any show when I was a kid, and that wonderment was still there.
Totally.
Even the show where I went to, and I remember being slightly disappointed because Tugboat was the opening match.
All right.
I was like, what? Like, is Popeye the Sailor Man?
Yeah.
What is this guy?
Toot.
But I was there with my dad and my brother, and my mom didn't go to that show. But I mean, I remember us going and having a good time. So any show growing up, was my favorite show. I mean,
did your dad take you to be a good dad, or was he being a good dad who also really liked wrestling?
I think he was taking us to be a good dad because, hey, let me show my boys wrestling, let me expose them to wrestling.
Yeah.
Because when I was a kid, I was like wrestling. Like he wasn't in wrestling at all, but he would expose us to that and say if we liked it, and we did. So
that's really cool. He sounds like a great dad. Is he looking to adopt at this point?
Well, unfortunately, he is no longer with us.
I'm sorry about that.
I'm sure he would.
Oh, really? I've always wanted. I've always wanted a 44-year-old man as.
My mother says this about my dad and about me, and she's like, "You guys are the friendliest people." And he was in sales, and I was in sales. Like, you're the friendliest people in the world. She goes, a stranger is just a friend you haven't met yet. I'm like, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, totally. Oh, that's great. All right, I'm gonna let you go soon. Football. It's only 2 hours, but anyway.
Yeah, no worries.
Can I get you to play a Would You Rather game? A couple questions.
Certainly.
Okay.
Yes.
Here we go. So, would you rather have fins or a tail?
Prehensile tail all day.
Okay. Would you rather have venereal disease or shingles? And interestingly enough, I asked my wife this question, and it turns out I knew she had shingles. Turns out she had venereal disease too.
Well, venereal disease, is curable, and as long as I don't spread it to my wife while I'm on, yeah. So let's go with VD because I think it's curable, and I think it's less painful.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Are you familiar with the Tiger King?
Yes.
Okay. Would you rather be the Tiger King's best friend or that bitch Carol Baskin's best friend?
I would personally, as a grown married man, I would rather be Carol Baskin's friend.
Mhm.
Now, before I met my wife, and as a single man, I would want to be the Tiger King's best friend all day long because crazy stuff is happening.
Yeah, that's true. And
you're gonna have some stories.
Oh my God! Especially when he gets out of jail, that's gonna be nuts. I hope he writes a book, or Netflix does the right thing and get him back on. All right. I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for coming on. It was fun talking to you, and definitely we'll have you on again if you're ever interested. So
I would love to come back on, Brad. I could do this all day long.
Then it's for sure. Hey, why don't you tell us about your where we can find your podcast and stuff before?
Oh, so my podcast, you could find it on YouTube under just search under Pineapple Lover 79. That's the name of the channel. You're gonna see my mug up there. Just subscribe. There's like 50 videos or so. There's some playlists that I made on there. You can go through, check all my videos. I mean, a lot of it's wrestling content. So,
yeah, all right, perfect. I'll go check that out. Throw a little nudity in there, and I'd watch it constantly. But all right, thank you for your service. Thank you for joining me this morning, and have a good, happy, and healthy closeout of 2020, and we'll talk again soon.
All right, brother, man. You did. Take care. Be good. Hey, I am the table.
Take care. Bye.